Have you ever found yourself in a leadership role, doing everything you can, showing up, setting goals, running meetings, solving problems, and still wondering why things aren't quite working the way you hoped? Maybe your team isn't as engaged as you'd like. Maybe the results feel inconsistent, the energy is low, or the vision isn't just landing the way you imagined. You might be doing all the right things, but something still feels off. This is where many leaders quietly struggle. Not because they lack experience, passion or skills, but because the demands of leadership today go far beyond giving direction or managing performance. The truth is, leading well in today's world means more than just being efficient or productive. It means inspiring people, aligning them, creating a space where they don't just work, they thrive. And here's the challenge. Most leadership approaches focus on tasks, systems and outcomes, but forget the human side. They don't show us how to actually become the kind of leader people want to follow. So we push harder, try to do more and hope things get better. But without a clear model, we risk burning out ourselves while watching our teams disengage. So whether you're feeling stuck or whether you simply want to take your leadership to the next level, to build a stronger, more connected team, to unlock higher performance and to shape a culture that's positive, empowering and built to last, this tutorial is for you. Because great leadership isn't about doing everything. It's about playing the right roles at the right time. In this video, we'll explore the 4 essential leadership roles that every inspiring leader needs to master. The role model who sets the tone through action and integrity. The visionary who brings clarity and direction. The coordinator who ensures alignment and structure. And the coach who develops people and builds trust. These 4 roles are the foundation of modern human-centered leadership, and when you learn how to step into them intentionally, you create a ripple effect that transforms not just results, but relationships, culture and long-term impact. Let's get started. The key takeaways of this tutorial are: first, understanding the common challenges leaders face today so you can identify what might be holding you back. Second, discovering what real leadership truly means beyond just managing tasks, focusing instead on influence and connection. And third, learning the 4 inspiring leadership roles that will help you lead more effectively and elevate your team's performance. We will begin by looking at the typical obstacles leaders face, issues like a lack of influence, misaligned teams and difficulties in creating real connection and motivation. Understanding these challenges is the first step toward overcoming them. Many leaders find that despite their efforts, they lack the true influence needed to inspire and motivate their teams. Influence goes beyond authority. It's about earning trust and respect so that people willingly follow your lead. According to a Gallup study, only 35% of employees strongly agree that their managers involve them in goal setting, which directly impacts influence and engagement. When leadership fails to connect with their team, achieving consistent results becomes a real challenge. Missed deadlines, unmet targets and uneven performance are often symptoms of deeper leadership issues. Research shows that companies with highly engaged employees outperform their competitors by 21% in profitability, highlighting how leadership engagement drives results. A common problem in many teams is misalignment, when people aren't clear on shared goals, priorities or their individual roles. This causes confusion, duplicated efforts and wasted resources. A survey by the Project Management Institute found that 37% of projects fail due to poor communication and lack of alignment, underscoring how critical clear direction is. A lack of initiative within the team forces leaders into micromanagement mode, constantly checking in and pushing for progress. When team members don't feel empowered to take ownership, creativity and problem solving decline. Gallup reports that only 30% of employees are engaged at work, meaning most don't take proactive ownership of their roles. At its core, leadership is about building strong relationships. Without genuine connection and trust, communication breaks down and collaboration becomes difficult. Research by Edelman found that 59% of employees say they don't trust their employer to tell the truth, which seriously hinders teamwork and morale. Now that we've explored the common challenges leaders face, it's time to look deep into what real leadership truly means. Beyond titles and tasks, real leadership is about inspiring influence, building trust and creating lasting impact. Let's uncover the mindset and qualities that set great leaders apart. When you think of a leader, iconic images come to mind. Mel Gibson rallying warriors in Braveheart or Russell Crowe commanding respect in Gladiator. These portrayals reflect an older model of leadership rooted in the industrial age, a world where leaders gave orders and expected unquestioning obedience. Leadership was about control, hierarchy and managing compliance. But in today's fast-paced, ever-changing environment, this command and control style often falls short and can even stifle creativity and engagement. Today's business environment is described as VUCA, volatile, uncertain, complex and ambiguous. No single leader can anticipate every challenge or micromanage every decision in such a dynamic landscape. Instead, leadership must shift from simply managing tasks to inspiring people. Real leadership means navigating complexity by building trust, fostering adaptability and empowering teams to take initiative and respond creatively to change. Think of leadership like tending a garden. You don't force plants to grow, you provide the right environment. Sunlight, water and fertile soil, and let nature take its course. Similarly, great leaders create the conditions where team members can perform at their best. Real leaders understand that they are in charge not just of tasks, but of the people who are responsible for delivering results. Creating an environment of trust and support enables individuals to thrive and take ownership of their work. Real leadership today is less about micromanaging actions and more about empowering people. Leaders are accountable for creating clarity around purpose and vision, ensuring the teams have the skills and support they need, and fostering psychological safety, a place where people can take risks without fear of judgment. As Simon Sinek puts it, leadership is not about being in charge, it's about taking care of those in your charge. This mindset shift transforms leadership from directive to supportive. A recent LinkedIn survey revealed that 85% of respondents believe the biggest missing factor in sustainable improvement initiatives is inspirational leadership, not tools, training or control mechanisms. Why? Because when leaders inspire, teams become more engaged, proactive and aligned toward common goals. Inspiration fuels creativity, ownership and collaboration, creating a work culture where everyone thrives. The question is, will you choose to lead by command, or will you cultivate an environment where your team can truly grow and succeed? Now that we've defined what real leadership means, it's time to explore the 4 key roles every inspiring leader must embrace. These roles help you guide, motivate and empower your team to reach their full potential while driving lasting success. Let's dive into how becoming a role model, visionary, coordinator and coach can transform your leadership approach. Leadership is not just a title, it's about influence and action. Imagine leadership as a symphony where each instrument plays a vital role, coming together to create something greater than the sum of its parts. The 4 leadership roles, role model, visionary, coordinator and coach, must work in harmony. Without trust, feedback feels like criticism. Without vision, the team lacks purpose. Without structure, ideas stay dreams. Without empowerment, the team can't grow or innovate. The foundation of leadership is trust. The role model builds this by embodying values and connecting genuinely with the team. Next, the visionary inspires with a clear purpose that aligns everyone. Then comes the coordinator, who brings the vision to life through systems and clarity. Finally, the coach empowers the team to unlock their full potential and adapt. These roles reflect the balance between guiding, organizing, inspiring and nurturing growth. All 4 roles are essential and must function together like instruments in a symphony, but there's also a natural sequence. Start with building trust so your team is open to guidance. Then inspire with a compelling vision that gives direction. Next, provide structure and processes to execute the vision. Finally, empower your team to take ownership, innovate and grow. Mastering this balance is key to leading effectively in today's complex world. Leadership isn't about a position or title, it's about intentional actions anyone can take. Whether you are a CEO or an individual contributor, choosing to lead as a role model, visionary, coordinator and coach lets you create meaningful impact. The question is, how will you show up as a leader? Will you inspire, organize and empower those around you to achieve great things together? Imagine being part of a team where instead of collaboration you feel disconnected. Suggestions are dismissed, feedback feels like criticism and everyone works in silos. This invisible wall forms when trust and connection are missing. Without a role model to set the tone, relationships suffer and potential stays locked away. But this wall can come down. A role model leads by living their values with integrity and authenticity, showing up consistently and earning trust through actions, not just words. Before people buy into your vision, they must trust you. Trust grows from small, consistent acts of empathy, accountability and genuine care. Think of Gandhi, who inspired millions by embodying his values, or a teacher who celebrates every student's effort with patience. Real role models build influence by communicating proactively and inspiring cooperation. Leadership is about connection, not authority. Without it, feedback is ignored and teamwork collapses. We will dive deeper into mastering the 3 pillars of being a role model: building trust, influencing through action and communication, and fostering synergetic cooperation. Ultimately, being a role model means building bridges, not walls. It's about creating a space where your team feels safe, motivated and empowered. So, ask yourself, what kind of bridge will you build? Building trust is one of the biggest challenges leaders face. It's the foundation for everything good in a team: collaboration, innovation and lasting success, but it's not easy to create or maintain. Without trust, teams become fragmented. People hesitate to share ideas or take risks because they don't feel safe. Feedback can feel like criticism and motivation drops. Science shows us that trust is linked to a hormone called oxytocin, which helps people bond and work better together. Leaders can build trust by recognizing effort, giving autonomy, being transparent and showing vulnerability. When trust is present, teams are more productive, more engaged and more loyal. But trust takes time and consistent effort. It can't be rushed or forced. As a leader, your role is to create an environment where trust can grow naturally. Imagine trust as an apple tree. It starts with a seed and grows slowly over time. To help trust flourish, you need to nurture it with positive behaviors like kindness, keeping promises, forgiveness, and being present for your team. These actions are like nutrients that strengthen the tree, but they are also pests that can harm trust. Things like disrespect, gossip, broken promises, and dishonesty. If you don't address these, your trust tree will weaken or even wither. Building trust also means showing both strong character and competence, your integrity and your ability to deliver results. Just like an apple tree, trust requires ongoing care. It can withstand challenges when properly nurtured, but it needs your consistent attention. As a leader, your job is to tend this tree so your team can thrive and produce lasting results. Just like nurturing a trust tree takes patience and care, developing a proactive mindset at work is essential for growth and success. In many teams, it's easy to fall into a pattern of reacting to problems and blaming circumstances, a professional victim mentality. Complaining about policies, leadership, or workload might feel natural, but it keeps the team stuck and powerless. True team growth happens when the group shifts from drifting with the current to collectively taking the wheel. Imagine the team's work as a boat on a river. Obstacles and challenges will always arise. The team can either drift aimlessly or grab the rudder and steer a purposeful course together. Being proactive means focusing on what the team can influence, attitudes, actions, and solutions. Even when the whole situation can't be changed, how the team responds matters. Complaining may feel satisfying momentarily, but it does not lead to progress. Consider how often team conversations revolve around venting frustrations without moving towards solutions. When the team instead leads by example, offering ideas, proposing solutions, and encouraging initiative, the energy shifts from complaint to collaboration. Remember Stephen Covey's 90-10 rule. About 10% of what happens is outside anyone's control, but 90% depends on how the team reacts. When the team collectively takes responsibility for its response, it empowers each member to influence positive change. The choice is clear: remain passive passengers or become active drivers. By steering the course together, the team sets a direction that inspires progress and growth. Imagine your professional challenges as a road ahead and yourself as the driver holding the steering wheel. The road represents the current situation, deadlines, conflicts, or other obstacles. The steering wheel symbolizes your ability to navigate these challenges and steer toward your goals. The steering wheel method encourages starting with what you can influence, your own actions. When issues arise, take control by brainstorming solutions focused on your response, beginning with I will. This keeps your approach proactive and manageable. In team settings, this method can be applied in two ways. Ad hoc, when complaints come up, quickly gather the team, draw a steering wheel on a flip chart, and brainstorm actionable steps everyone can take. Planned, hold regular meetings dedicated to identifying key challenges and developing solutions the team can influence together. By focusing on what you and your team can do, no matter how small, you steer your path forward and create momentum. Taking the wheel means moving from frustration to proactive leadership, shaping your direction rather than drifting along. We've talked about taking control of what we can influence individually, steering our own course rather than drifting reactively. Now imagine multiplying that power by combining individual influences into a unified, unstoppable force. That's what synergy is all about. Synergy happens when a team moves beyond individual efforts and starts working together so effectively that the whole becomes greater than the sum of its parts. But this doesn't happen automatically. Teams often face obstacles like fear of judgment, lack of trust, or misunderstanding diverse ways of thinking and working. To overcome these, it's essential to create an environment where everyone feels safe to contribute openly, differences are valued, and collaboration is intentional. This enables the team to harness varied strengths, navigate conflicts constructively, and innovate collectively. Moving from steering alone to steering as a team requires us to foster trust, openness, and appreciation for the unique qualities each person brings. When these conditions are met, the team gains real momentum and achieves outcomes none could reach alone. Every team is made up of individuals with different motivators, fears, and communication styles. The DISC model helps us understand these differences, not to label people, but to appreciate what drives each person. Dominant, D style, motivated by challenges and results. They prefer direct communication and quick decisions, but may fear losing control. Influential, I style, energized by social interaction and recognition. They bring enthusiasm, but can worry about rejection. Steady, S style, value stability and harmony. They're dependable and supportive, but may fear conflict. Compliant, C style, driven by accuracy and quality. They see clarity and precision, but may worry about criticism. Using the DISC team wheel, teams can openly discuss where each team member feels they fit, their attributes, and how best to approach and support them. This dialogue builds empathy, reduces friction, and helps the team leverage individual strengths more effectively. Leaders who facilitate these conversations create an inclusive culture where differences aren't just accepted, they are actively used to drive collaboration, smarter problem solving and stronger teamwork. A true role model builds leadership through 3 essential elements: trust, influence through purposeful action, and synergy within the team. Trust is like an apple tree. It grows gradually with care, nurtured by honesty, consistency and empathy, and weakened by broken promises or disrespect. Without this foundation, teams cannot thrive. A role model also demonstrates influence by focusing on what they can control and inspiring others to do the same. Using the steering wheel model, they steer themselves and their teams away from blame and frustration towards proactive problem solving and shared responsibility. Finally, a role model fosters synergy by recognizing and valuing the unique strengths and motivators of each team member. Through open dialogue inspired by tools like the DISC Team Wheel, they create an environment where diverse talents are understood and combined to achieve greater collective success. By embodying these principles, role models cultivate trust, empower action, and unite the teams to reach their highest potential. Building trust, influence, and synergy creates the foundation for a strong, united team. But even the most connected teams need a clear direction, a guiding star that aligns efforts and fuels collective purpose. Without this, energy disperses and potential remains untapped. That's where visionary leadership comes in. Picture this. You're part of a team where everyone has different ideas, goals, and paths. It feels like you're all pulling in different directions, and the bigger picture is missing. The purpose seems unclear and the future uncertain. This is what happens when a strong vision is lacking. A visionary leader sees beyond the present moment, setting a clear direction that inspires and aligns the whole team toward a shared goal. Vision isn't just about bold dreams, it's about painting a compelling picture of the future that everyone understands and believes in. When people see the why behind the what, motivation and collaboration soar. In the next slides, we will explore what it takes to become a visionary leader, how to create a purpose and vision, define your 5-year ambition, build a clear roadmap, and set golden priorities that keep your team focused and energized. Have you ever felt like you're just going through the motions, overwhelmed by tasks but unsure if any of it truly matters? Many teams struggle with misalignment, confusion, and a lack of inspiration. Without a clear purpose or shared vision, it's like running on a treadmill, lots of effort, no real progress. Motivation fades and the excitement for work dims. Research shows how powerful purpose is. In 2008, Dan Ariely's experiment had people build Lego models. When their work stayed intact, they kept building more. But if their creations were destroyed immediately, motivation dropped sharply. This illustrates how meaning fuels persistence. Without a shared vision, teams feel like cogs in a machine. But when JFK declared, "We choose to go to the moon," he sparked a collective purpose that inspired an entire nation. Even a janitor at NASA felt part of something extraordinary. A compelling vision aligns, motivates, and makes everyone feel their contribution matters. Is your team busy but not really moving forward? Without clear purpose and vision, even great teams can feel lost and disconnected. But igniting passion starts with purpose, the reason why your work matters. Viktor Frankl said, "Life is never unbearable because of circumstances, but because of lack of meaning." The Wright brothers succeeded because their purpose was powerful. Their competitor failed despite resources because his goal was shallow. Purpose answers the why behind what you do. Vision is the where, a clear inspiring picture of the future you want to create. As Antoine de Saint-Exupéry said, "If you want to build a ship, don't drum up people to collect wood, divide the work and give orders. Instead, teach them to long for the sea." Your vision should be clear, achievable and energizing. To make vision actionable, set a 5-year ambition, a roadmap of concrete goals that guide your team step by step. This turns big dreams into manageable milestones. When purpose, vision and ambition come together, confusion fades, motivation grows, and your team moves forward, aligned and inspired. Have you ever set off on a journey full of excitement, only to realize halfway that you're off course? It's a common experience. Great visions get lost without a clear plan. You might see goals slipping away, tasks piling up, and resources misused. But what if you could turn that bumpy path into a smooth ride? That's exactly what an annual roadmap does. It breaks down your 5-year ambition into clear, actionable steps for the year ahead. Think of it like planning a trip from Tokyo to Kathmandu. Without a route, it's guesswork. With a roadmap, you have clarity, milestones, and resources aligned. But beware of common mistakes: overloading tasks, ignoring your team's strengths, and uneven workload distribution. Focus on what matters, involve your team, and balance the effort. This way, your roadmap becomes a tool for alignment, motivation, and steady progress toward your big vision. Imagine standing at the base of a giant mountain. Your 5-year ambition is the peak. How do you climb it this year? Without a roadmap, you risk wandering or wasting energy. The yearly roadmap breaks your big vision into achievable goals, aligns your team, and guides resource use. To build one, start by defining your yearly goals from the 5-year plan, then identify projects and measures that lead to those milestones. Prioritize what truly matters, don't overload. Assign sponsors to oversee resources and make sure each initiative has clear ownership. Involve every team member by matching tasks to their talents and passions so everyone feels motivated and accountable. Plot key milestones on a calendar and review progress monthly. This keeps the plan alive and responsive. A good roadmap isn't just a plan, it's the momentum that propels your team steadily toward the summit. Now ask yourself, what's our ambition for this year and how will we unite our team to reach it? Let's start mapping the climb. You've drafted your yearly roadmap, laying out the path to reach your vision. But even with this clear map, many organizations struggle to focus. How do you catch a rabbit? One at a time. Yet in business, leaders often chase multiple rabbits simultaneously and end up with none. The problem isn't the lack of a plan, it's overloaded roadmaps filled with too many initiatives. Studies show that over 70% of strategies fail during execution, not because the vision is wrong, but because focus falters under too many priorities. The signs are clear: task overload, stretched resources, and teams unsure where to concentrate their efforts. Leaders jump from one fire to another, creating confusion instead of momentum. Here's the key insight: not all priorities are equal. The rule of 3 tells us that focusing on just 3 key initiatives deliver the majority of the results. These 3 golden priorities create clarity, sharpen decision making, and align the whole organization. Start by identifying the initiatives that will have the greatest impact on achieving your strategic goals. This means looking closely at where you can create the most value, whether it's launching a new product, expanding into a key market, or improving customer retention. It's equally important to decide consciously what won't get your attention this year, so you don't dilute your efforts or exhaust your team. Each priority should be translated into clear, actionable objectives that are specific, measurable, aligned with your vision, realistic, and bound by time. This clarity not only helps your team understand what success looks like, but also enables you to track progress and course correct if necessary. Communicating these principles openly and consistently ensures everyone in the organization understands what matters most and why. This shared focus builds alignment and empowers teams to make decisions that support the bigger picture. Incorporate these priorities into your regular metrics and leadership meetings to maintain accountability and momentum. And as the year unfolds, schedule regular check-ins to review progress and make adjustments when needed, without losing sight of the core priorities. By defining and relentlessly focusing on these 3 priorities, you create the foundation for sustained, impactful progress toward your vision. A strong, united team starts with trust and synergy, but it needs a clear, compelling vision to focus energy and unlock true potential. Without this direction, efforts scatter and progress stalls. A visionary leader sets a clear, inspiring future that everyone understands and believes in. This vision provides meaning and motivation, helping people see the purpose behind their work and aligning their efforts toward shared goals. Turning vision into reality requires breaking it down into a 5-year ambition and an annual roadmap with clear, achievable milestones. This ensures resources are focused, priorities are clear, and the team stays aligned. Too many priorities dilute focus and hinder progress. Effective leaders identify a few high-impact initiatives to drive success, communicating them clearly and tracking progress regularly to maintain momentum and accountability. In short, visionary leadership means creating clarity from complexity, inspiring collective purpose, and guiding the team step by step toward meaningful results. You've defined your strategy, set clear priorities, and created a roadmap that outlines where you want to go. But having a brilliant plan is only the beginning. Picture this: the vision is clear, the goals are set, but somehow progress feels stuck. Tasks pile up, deadlines slip, and people are unsure who's responsible for what. It's like having a detailed map but no clear directions on which path to take. Energy is there, but it's scattered, not focused. This is the reality when execution falters. The gap between great strategy and tangible results often comes down to one thing: how well the plan is coordinated and put into action. Without clear structures, roles, and processes, even the best ideas can get lost. Teams become overwhelmed, communication breaks down, and momentum slows. That's why the role of the coordinator leader is so crucial. This leader translates strategy into clear, actionable steps and ensures everyone understands their role and how it connects to the bigger picture. It's not about micromanaging every task, but about building a system that creates clarity, accountability, and steady progress. Think of the coordinator leader as the conductor of an orchestra, bringing harmony out of complexity, making sure every player knows their part and the timing is right. Or like a project manager on a construction site, organizing resources, timelines, and teams to keep everything on track. In the next sections, we'll explore the essential tools of coordination leadership, how to cascade goals effectively, run purposeful meetings, and engage directly with teams to maintain control and momentum. Mastering these elements is how you turn strategy into reality, step by step. Imagine setting sail on a ship without a compass or clear destination. The crew works hard, but without shared direction, effort gets wasted, confusion grows, and morale drops. This is what happens in organizations when goals aren't aligned. Teams often ask, why does my work matter? Or how does this fit into the bigger picture? When departments have conflicting priorities, like marketing focusing on brand visibility while sales cuts costs, friction replaces synergy and progress stalls. Another issue is focusing only on lagging indicators, results that show up after the fact. It's like stepping on a scale every day but not tracking the behaviors that influence weight. Without measuring leading indicators, proactive actions like safety talks or root cause analysis, results won't improve. Finally, the culture around goals can hinder progress. When SMART goals are rigid benchmarks tied to rewards or punishments, they encourage shortcuts and stifle innovation. Goals should inspire and guide, not pressure or restrict. Without alignment, the right focus and a supportive culture, teams become disconnected and unproductive. It's like an orchestra playing without a conductor, chaos instead of harmony. To solve this, goals must cascade clearly from top leadership down to every individual, like pieces of a puzzle coming together. Each level aligns its targets to the same vision, ensuring everyone moves in sync towards shared success. Balance is key. Check both results and the activities that drive them. For example, sales should measure revenue, results, and also calls or demos, activities. Similarly, balance leading indicators, proactive measures, with lagging indicators that reflect outcomes. Avoid overloading teams with too many metrics. Focus on a manageable number, around 5 to 7 per level, to maintain clarity and ownership without confusion. Visualize goals clearly on dashboards with progress, accountability, and priorities so everyone knows where they stand. Finally, balance individual goals that foster ownership with shared goals that promote collaboration. This combination ensures personal accountability and collective success. When goals align, the right activities are measured and a motivating culture is in place, teams move together like a well-conducted orchestra, turning effort into meaningful progress and collective achievement. Imagine gathering your entire team ready to tackle important challenges, but leaving an hour later with no clear decisions, no progress, and no motivation. Unproductive meetings waste valuable time and energy. Common causes include lack of a clear agenda, unclear rules or focus, inviting too many or irrelevant participants, poor preparation, and no accountability for next steps. Without structure, meetings become chaotic, conversations meander, and long discussions end without conclusions. This not only delays decisions but also drains morale and creates frustration. Consider that professionals spend up to 20% of their week in meetings. If half are ineffective, that's lost momentum and stalled progress. Unproductive meetings hurt communication, delay execution, and erode team trust. They leave leaders wondering why strategies aren't executed and teams feeling stuck, like rowing a boat with no rhythm or direction. Now, picture meetings like a symphony orchestra, everyone playing in harmony with clear roles and purpose. Effective meetings focus on driving results through transparency, guidance, and teamwork. To achieve this, meetings must prioritize one key focus area aligned with top organizational goals, using dashboards that combine leading indicators, actions taken, and lagging indicators, results achieved, for shared clarity. Different meetings serve different functions. Project reviews focus on what was promised, done, and the next steps. Indicator reviews happen weekly or monthly to analyze progress and propose actions. Daily or shift meetings track immediate targets and risks. Structure is critical. Each meeting should have a clear agenda, defined roles for facilitator and note-taker, strict time management, and end with assigned ownership and deadlines. When meetings are run this way, teams gain transparency, improve coordination, and build synergy. Decisions are made on time, efforts are aligned, and progress accelerates. Reflect. Are your meetings inspiring action and moving your team forward? If not, it's time to recalibrate for real impact. Imagine you're the captain of a ship navigating tricky waters. You can either micromanage every move of your crew, like steering through the narrow Panama Canal where there's little room for error or independent action, or you can let the ship drift aimlessly in the open sea without direction, risking disaster. Leadership is about finding the right balance between control and autonomy, knowing when to guide your team and when to step back. Excessive control often comes from a lack of trust, which leads to micromanagement, a cycle that reduces team confidence and performance. When leaders over-control, team members become afraid to make mistakes, focus on avoiding risks, and creativity suffers. But too little control leaves teams without direction, causing confusion and inefficiency. The ideal approach is like driving on a 6-lane highway with guardrails, providing clear boundaries but allowing freedom to innovate and make decisions. This balance empowers teams to stay focused on goals while managing details independently. Next, we will explore how leaders can connect with their teams to foster this balance through practical tools like Gemba Walks. Have you ever seen too much freedom create chaos or too much control stifle creativity? As a leader, your challenge is to strike a balance, giving your team autonomy while maintaining structure. Think of running a workshop. No guidelines lead to confusion, too strict rules kill innovation. The sweet spot lies between, where clear expectations meet flexibility. How do you create this environment? It starts by going beyond dashboards and reports. To truly understand your team's challenges, you need to be where the work happens, in the Gemba or real place. Site tours or Gemba walks let you observe, engage and learn directly from your team. Their purpose is twofold. First, to identify and improve work conditions like safety, equipment or processes, and second, to empower your team to reflect on what's working and what isn't. Asking 4 key questions during these tours helps. What is the target condition? What is the current condition? What obstacles stand in the way? And what issues will we tackle and who can help? You also encourage reflection by asking, what's going well? What should stop? What should start? And how can I support you? These conversations build ownership, trust and continuous improvement. Regular site tours help leaders balance control with autonomy, guiding teams while empowering them to innovate and take ownership, creating a culture where everyone thrives. You've defined your strategy and set priorities, but without strong execution, even the best plans fall flat. That's where the coordinator steps in, not as a micromanager, but as the architect of clarity and momentum. Like a conductor bringing harmony to an orchestra or a site manager steering a project, this leader builds the systems to turn vision into results. 3 tools make this possible. First, cascading goals. Translating strategy into clear, aligned targets at every level, tracking both outcomes and the key behaviors that drive them. Focus matters, so teams work with just a few meaningful indicators that guide performance. Second, purposeful meetings. Structured, outcome-driven and tied directly to progress, ensuring time together leads to real decisions and accountability. Third, site tours or Gemba walks. Leaders step into the real work environment to observe, ask and learn, building trust and surfacing improvements firsthand. These tools create a balance of structure and freedom, like a 6-lane highway with guardrails, empowering teams to move fast, stay aligned and deliver. The coordinator closes the gap between strategy and action, turning plans into progress. You have aligned goals and strengthened execution, but systems alone aren't enough. To truly elevate performance, leaders must go beyond coordination and start developing people. That's where the coach role comes in. Imagine your team, motivated, capable, full of potential, but not quite reaching it. Maybe they're stuck in old routines, unsure how to grow or hesitant to take initiative. What they need isn't more direction, it's empowerment. Coaching is not about managing performance, it's about building capability. It's about turning aspirations into action, helping people stretch beyond their limits and creating an environment where growth is continuous. When you stop developing your people, you stop them from evolving. As a coach, your job is to unlock that potential, not just to get results today, but to build stronger, more capable teams for tomorrow. This starts with 3 core tools. First, structured development plans help translate vague ambitions into concrete steps, timelines and milestones, turning I want to lead into a clear path forward. Second, group feedback encourages learning from peers, not just from the top. It builds a culture of openness, trust and collective growth. And third, the learning zone creates the right balance of challenge and support, an environment where people feel safe to take risks, make mistakes and improve. When these elements come together, people don't just perform, they evolve. They stop waiting for answers and start creating them. That's the real power of a coaching leader. Someone who doesn't just drive execution, but builds the leaders of the future. You've probably seen it before, a team filled with ambition, energy and high hopes. People attend training, talk about growth and set bold goals. But months later, nothing has really changed. Why? Because aspirations alone aren't enough. Without structure and clarity, even the most motivated teams struggle to move forward. This is the challenge of turning ambition into real, measurable progress. The problem often lies in how we approach development. Too many plans are vague, generic or imposed top-down. They focus on fixing weaknesses rather than building on strengths. And worst of all, they lack purpose. Just like trying to fill a dried up well without knowing why, we risk wasting time and energy on solutions that don't fit. The solution starts by asking the right question. Why does this person want to grow? What are they aiming for? Once the purpose is clear, we can co-create tailored, actionable development plans that connect individual goals with team and organizational needs. This gives people direction and ownership. Because when development is personal, purposeful and structured, it transforms potential into performance. So how do we make that shift from vague goals to real growth? It starts with personalized development plans that actually work. Not as a yearly checkbox, but as a living roadmap. These plans go beyond skills. They align aspirations with long-term roles and responsibilities, creating a foundation for real, sustained growth. Start by identifying the stretch zone, the area where someone wants to grow and where the challenge lies just beyond their comfort zone. Then define what it takes to thrive there: skills, mindset and organizational understanding. This clarity ensures that development is not just functional, but strategic. The final step is turning plans into action. Use the 70-20-10 model, a mix of formal learning, collaboration and real-world application. This keeps growth grounded and practical. And as people build confidence and capabilities, gradually give them more autonomy and decision-making power. That's how growth becomes not just possible, but inevitable. Because when people feel ownership of their journey and when development plans reflect who they are and where they are going, they don't just learn, they lead. And that's how high-performing teams are built, one personalized plan at a time. Have you ever avoided giving feedback because you didn't want to hurt someone's feelings? Or felt defensive when receiving feedback even when it was meant to help? You are not alone. Feedback makes us vulnerable. It taps into our fears of judgment, rejection and failure. It's uncomfortable to confront someone, and it's equally hard to hear we are not doing something perfectly. So instead, we often stay silent. But when feedback is avoided, growth stalls. We don't speak up, we don't challenge one another, and we lose the opportunity to improve. Avoiding feedback is often rooted in a fixed mindset, the belief that our abilities are set and criticism threatens our self-image. Instead of seeing feedback as a chance to grow, we see it as an attack. To change this, we need a shift. Daring openness. It means having the courage to be honest, even when it's uncomfortable, and the humility to receive feedback without ego. When we choose openness over avoidance, we create the conditions for real progress in ourselves, in our teams, and in our culture. Now imagine a team where feedback isn't feared but welcomed. A team that sees feedback as fuel for growth. That's what we aim to build through structured, supportive group feedback. Here's how it works. We start by highlighting what's working. Each person shares process-based praise with the individual receiving feedback. No vague compliments, just clear examples of what's helping the team succeed. Then we shift to growth-focused input, specific suggestions for how the person could be even more effective. The key here is safety and clarity. We are not criticizing the person, we are guiding their process. The recipient just listens and reflects. No defending, no explaining. They then choose one area they want to improve and write it down for the team to see. This simple act creates ownership and shared commitment. As we rotate through the group, everyone gives, receives and grows together. When done well, feedback becomes a shared responsibility, something we do for each other, not to each other. And in that space, trust, growth and real transformation can flourish. What if the key to growth wasn't just about pushing harder, but about knowing exactly how much challenge to give and how much support is just right? Too much challenge without support can overwhelm people and lead to burnout or frustration. On the other hand, too much support without enough challenge can cause stagnation, preventing anyone from reaching their true potential. Real growth happens in the delicate balance between these two forces. As leaders, coaches, or in our own personal development, we face this balancing act constantly. It's not enough to just push people forward. We must carefully calibrate when to stretch them and when to provide safety and encouragement. Growth isn't always comfortable. It often comes with struggle. But struggle is necessary because it builds strength and resilience. Think about the caterpillar's transformation into a butterfly. The struggle it faces while breaking out of the cocoon is essential for its wings to develop properly. Without that challenge, the butterfly cannot fly. Similarly, if we remove all obstacles or ease challenges too quickly, growth is incomplete. We must allow the right amount of struggle, paired with enough support, to help people reach their highest potential. As a leader or coach, your role is to create an environment where challenge pushes people just beyond their comfort zones, while support gives them the confidence and resources to succeed without burning out. Striking this balance is what enables sustained growth and real transformation. Growth never happens in the comfort zone where everything feels safe and familiar. True transformation happens when we step beyond comfort and enter what is called the learning zone, a space where challenge meets support and where setbacks are seen as opportunities to learn rather than failures. The comfort zone is vital for rest and stability, but if we never stretch beyond it, we risk stagnation. When the challenge is too great or the support too little, people slip into the panic zone where stress overwhelms and growth stops. The goal is to help individuals stay in the learning zone where discomfort is manageable and learning thrives. This process of growth happens in cycles, often called development loops. A person takes on a new challenge, faces discomfort, learns, and then recovers in the comfort zone before taking on the next challenge. This rhythm keeps growth steady and sustainable. To guide people through these loops successfully, leaders must provide 4 key supports. Purpose, to remind them why they are pushing themselves. Focus, to help them prioritize what matters. Support, to listen and encourage. And recognition, to celebrate progress and effort, not just outcomes. Finally, it's important to establish a clear framework or agreement outlining goals, resources and expectations. This framework acts like guardrails, helping people navigate the challenge with confidence and autonomy. By intentionally creating and maintaining this learning zone, leaders can foster an environment where growth flourishes, helping their teams and themselves grow stronger, more capable and more resilient. You've aligned goals and strengthened execution, but true impact comes from developing people. Coaching leaders don't just manage performance, they build capability. Imagine a team full of talent but stuck in old habits or unsure how to grow. What they need isn't more direction, it's empowerment. Coaching turns ambition into action by helping people stretch beyond limits and fostering continuous growth. 3 key tools make this happen. First, structured development plans that map clear, concrete steps from vague aspirations. Second, group feedback that creates a culture of trust and shared learning. Third, the learning zone, a space where challenge and support meet, letting people take risks safely and improve. When coaching leaders bring these elements together, teams don't just perform, they evolve. They stop waiting for answers and start creating them. Coaching is about building stronger, more capable teams today and leaders for tomorrow. We've learned about the 4 inspiring leadership roles: role model, visionary, coordinator and coach, but knowing them isn't enough if you can't apply them consistently. Ever feel like you know exactly how to lead, but can't seem to do it every day? One moment you're confident and clear, the next you're drowning in emails, urgent tasks and daily chaos. You get the leadership principles, trust, vision, accountability, but putting them into practice regularly feels impossible. The challenge? Consistency. We are pulled in so many directions that leadership often gets pushed aside. You attend a seminar or read a book, feel inspired for a bit, then slip back into old routines. But as Aristotle said, we are what we repeatedly do. Excellence then is not an act, but a habit. Leadership isn't a one-time effort. It's about making it a daily practice. Think of it like working out. 1 push-up won't build strength, but doing 15 every day will. Similarly, applying leadership principles regularly, whether as a role model, visionary, coordinator or coach, builds real change over time. Without that repetition, leadership becomes reactive and inconsistent. To lead well, you have to carve out space for leadership amid the daily hustle. Make it a priority every day, not just something you hope to do tomorrow. When you consistently practice all 4 leadership roles, you create stronger teams, clearer direction and lasting impact. Excellence in leadership isn't a moment, it's a habit. We've talked about the importance of consistent leadership. Now how do you make it happen every day? If you're a leader who understands what needs to be done but struggles to wave it into your busy routine, you're not alone. The daily demands pull you in all directions and leadership can feel like just another item on an endless to-do list. That's where Leader Standard Work comes in. A practical tool to make leadership part of your everyday flow. Leader Standard Work means deliberately setting aside time for core leadership activities that really move the needle. One-on-ones, team meetings, feedback, strategy alignment and reflection. It's about turning those big leadership principles into specific daily habits. You block time in your calendar for these tasks, treating them as non-negotiable commitments, just like any urgent meeting or deadline. The power of this approach is consistency. Showing up every day with intention, leading by example and reflecting regularly on how your routine is working helps you build real leadership muscle. Instead of reacting to the chaos, you steer your team with clarity and focus. You create a culture where leadership is lived in every conversation and action, not just talked about. By making leadership a structured, repeatable part of your day, you turn intention into impact. Leader Standard Work isn't about rigidity. It's about discipline, focus and making sure leadership never gets pushed aside. When you prioritize it daily, leadership stops being a task you hope to get to and becomes a natural, powerful part of who you are as a leader. After exploring the 4 inspiring leadership roles, it's clear that putting these approaches into practice delivers measurable benefits, not just for individuals, but for entire organizations. Organizations with inspiring leaders report up to 23% higher employee engagement as people feel valued, motivated and connected to a clear purpose. Teams led by inspiring leaders see a 20% increase in innovation, benefiting from an environment that encourages creativity, risk-taking and continuous learning. Inspiring leadership also boosts employee retention, reducing turnover rates by up to 30% since motivated employees are more loyal and less likely to seek opportunities elsewhere. Moreover, companies with inspiring leaders achieve up to 15% higher customer satisfaction, driven by employees who deliver exceptional service fueled by passion and alignment with company values. Finally, inspiring leadership enhances overall productivity by around 18% as energized teams collaborate more effectively, overcome challenges and sustain high performance over time. This tutorial was created to introduce and give you a clear yet flexible overview of inspiring leadership through the 4 essential roles: role model, visionary, coordinator and coach. It's not about rigid rules or quick fixes, but about understanding the core tools and mindset that help you lead with purpose, clarity and impact every day. What becomes clear is that in today's complex environment, inspiring leadership requires more than occasional actions. It demands consistent practice, thoughtful coordination and genuine development of people. To go deeper and apply these insights in practice, there are various solutions available. One particularly practical starting point is the workbook Leadership Annual Planner. This planner guides you step by step through each leadership role, providing detailed explanations, actionable exercises, and templates to help you set goals, track progress, and build lasting leadership habits. It's designed to fit your busy schedule while helping you lead with intention and inspire your team all year round. The Leadership Annual Planner is available on Amazon, and you can find more information and direct links on the Mindset Challenger website. Another effective way to deepen your understanding and apply the principles of inspiring leadership in your daily work is the online course Inspiring Leader Accelerator on Udemy. This course offers a structured and practical learning experience through videos, exercises, templates, and handouts, guiding you step by step to bring the 4 leadership roles, role model, visionary, coordinator, and coach, into real-life action. Whether you are leading a team, managing projects, or developing your leadership skills, this course helps turn leadership theory into consistent, impactful practice. Links to the course are available on the Mindset Challenger website. The most intense and effective solution is the 2-day workshop for you and your team, or one-on-one coaching tailored specifically to your leadership challenges. In these formats, the principles of inspiring leadership, embodying the 4 roles of role model, visionary, coordinator, and coach, are applied directly to your organization or personal leadership context. The approach is hands-on, goal-oriented, and designed to deliver immediate results. It's ideal for anyone looking to build lasting leadership habits, boost team motivation, and drive meaningful change. Additionally, there's an optional certification and implementation follow-up program to support ongoing growth and ensure sustainable impact. All details and contact options are available on the Mindset Challenger website. This isn't just theory. I have applied these principles myself in my roles as site director, production manager, and head of operational excellence, and experienced firsthand the powerful results they deliver. Greater clarity, stronger execution, enhanced performance, and a more focused, motivated team culture are just some of the benefits. But don't just take my word for it. Hear directly from those who have been through the workshops and coaching. You will find testimonials and detailed feedback on the Mindset Challenger website. As you reflect on what you've learned, remember that leadership is not just a role. It's a journey that continues every day. The tools and principles you've learned will help you inspire trust, drive vision, coordinate execution, and unlock potential within your team. These are not just skills to use, they are habits to live by. As a role model, you've learned how to build trust and connection with your team. Trust is the bedrock of every strong team, and by leading with integrity, empathy, and consistency, you will create an environment where your people feel empowered and valued. Every word, action, and decision you make impacts their trust. As a visionary, you now have the power to guide your team with a clear sense of direction. You've gained the ability to create a compelling strategy, articulate a shared vision, and motivate your team toward ambitious goals. This vision isn't just about where you're going, it's about aligning your team with purpose and a clear path forward. As a coordinator, you're equipped to execute that vision. You know how to organize, streamline, and implement systems and processes that keep your team focused on delivering results. Your ability to convert strategy into action transforms goals into tangible outcomes, ensuring your team stays aligned and productive every step of the way. Finally, as a coach, you have the tools to unlock your team's potential. Through feedback, learning zones, and development plans, you will help individuals grow and reach new heights. Your role in fostering personal and team development will elevate not just individual performance, but the collective strengths of your team. Remember, leadership is an ongoing process. The principles you've learned are not just theories to apply occasionally, but habits to practice consistently every day. By living these principles and making them part of your routine, you will create lasting change, inspire those around you, and unlock the full potential of your team. The journey doesn't end here, it's just the beginning. The impact you create as a leader is limitless, and by continuing to develop and apply these principles, you will build a culture of excellence that ripples through everything you do. Let me end with this inspiration. A leader is someone who knows the way, goes the way, and shows the way.